So today I've made 3 different types of lands. Snow, plains, and then swamp. So let's get started. Our first dinosaur was getting released into the park. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. And the first one... Yeah. So our first one was done and released. And our second one was ready to release. And then our third one was ready to release. The Pachycephalosaurus was released into the plains, and the Parasaurolophus was hatched into the snow biome. And as they were adjusting to the new land, I had to think of a second dinosaur to be released. Our second dinosaur into the swamp would be a Therizinosaurus. Not aggressive, but strong creature. And our second dinosaur into the grass/plains biome was a Triceratops. And a Styracosaurus was being released into the snow biome. The Therizinosaurus would be the biggest dinosaur we had released so far. The Triceratops was released into the lands. And the Styracosaurus was released into the lands. Then the Therizinosaurus, our biggest creature yet, was released into the lands.
Just when you think you've seen it all, along comes the Therizinosaurus. And believe it or not, those huge claws you see, they actually help to feed on vegetation.
So far,
But, just do me one favor,
all
okay?
dinosaurs
Don't
were
get
at
near my hair with
peace.
those things.
Wait till later in the video. Then the Emontosaurus was getting ready to be hatched. And in the swamp, the Iguanodon was getting released. And in the plains, our first sauropod, the Brachiosaurus. Edmontosaurus had been released. And the Brachiosaurus was getting released. And the first sauropod had been released. And then the iguanodon was released.
This dinosaur is large, bulky,
Our
and has a
first
stubborn
carnivore
disposition.
of all
It's
three
called the
in all three
iguanodon.
languages is
It's
about
an
to be
herbivore with
released.
attitude. I'd suggest giving it a wide berth.
Um, okay. They were all getting ready. Baryonyx, the Quintrosaurus, and the Pyroraptor. Pyroraptor was first to be released. The Baryonyx were also being released. And then the Quintrosauruses were also being released.
Special about this one, je ne sais quoi. It's a pyroraptor. Had it not been for a forest fire sweeping through southern France, our little feathered friend here may have gone undiscovered. And my life insurance would be just that little bit cheaper.
Make one quick adjustment in the swamp biome for the Baryonyx. The first battle had begun. Pyroraptor versus Parasaurolophus. But the Parasaurolophus was easily defeated by the Pyroraptor. An unexpected battle against the Therizinosaurus and Baryonyx. The Therizinosaurus had fallen. Pyroraptors were on the hunt again to take their next victim. They had been easily hunted down. 3 Parasaurolophuses had died. Now 4. We're gonna put two of these guys in there. So far the Quintrosauruses have been nice, so. The Quintrosauruses had taken their first kill. But the Quintrosauruses had been living in a more dangerous area than the rest of them because of the massive Jurassic World Triceratopses. They had taken their second kill. Pachycephalosauruses. Very sad. Ooh, the first Brachiosaurus had been attacked, but the Quintrosaurus had also was thrown to the ground but not hurt. Then the Therizinosaurus were getting ready to be, or being matured to get into the real world. Two Brachiosauruses were adjusting nicely.
Hey, I've gone like hours without a snack, and I know how that makes
That's what
me
they're
feel.
missing. That's what they
Imagine
eat.
how a dinosaur feels when it's hungry.
And the second Therizinosaurus was getting released, and the third. The Prioraptors had definitely taken the most lives. And yeah. And then another Parasaurolophus was getting hunted down by 3 Pyroraptors and easily killed. Then our first big carnivore would be released into all 3 first medium-sized carnivore would be released into each 3. The Majungasaurus, the Metrocanthosaurus, and the Ceratosaurus. Baryonyx against Therizinosaurus. Therizinosaurus had a quick, easy lead. Baryonyx was almost dead, but the Theri was also getting hurt. The Majungasaurus was released. The biggest carnivore they had seen in the snow biome. The Ceratosaurus was released. The strongest carnivore in the plains. The Majungasaurus was also released. Although a bit smaller than the Baryonyx, they were
Let me
stronger.
introduce you to the Metrocanthosaurus. Say that fast 3 times. This is another alpha predator that, while not as big as some of its cousins, tends to stand more upright. So I guess it has good posture while it's tearing you to shreds.
The Edmontosaurus about to die. Because I forgot to feed them. Majungasaurus and Baryonyx had started their first fight. The Baryonyx was low health, and the Majungasaurus was standing strong. Baryonyx got another hit, another bite on the Majungasaurus, and then the Bary ran away in defeat. The Baryonyx and Therizinosaurus were fighting. But the Therizinosaurus were winning.
Whenever a
Pyroraptor
dinosaur dies, I feel like I've lost
just
one of my own.
hunted down a Parasaurolophus. Then, I can't even say their name, was hunting down a Brachiosaurus. but it was not enough to hurt it. A Pyroraptor was hunting down a Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosaurus was getting low health and had passed away. Almost. Then it collapsed and died. Then the Acrocanthosaurus was getting released into the plains. The Albertosaurus was getting released into the snow biome. And the Dimetrodon was getting released into the water biome. This Ceratosaurus was taking on its first real battle, and it was winning. Never mind, no it wasn't. The Majungasaurus and Styracosaurus were fighting, but the Styracosaurus had died, unfortunately. Majungasaurus had killed its first victim.
To some,
The
this may seem inhumane.
Albertosaurus
Let the dinosaurs
was the
fight.
first to be released,
Manipulate them to. We gain a greater understanding of the animals.
and the
This
biggest
research may eventually
carnivore
help
in the
us
snow biome. Then shortly after, the Acrocanthosaurus was released,
This is the Albertosaurus,
which would be
so named
the
because it was first
biggest
discovered
and
in the
last
Canadian province of
released
Alberta.
into the
This animal is a smart predator that
plains.
relies on its rows of sharp teeth. They exhibit pack behavior, which is very
And then
exciting to
the
witness,
small
as long
Dimetrodon
as you're doing
was
so
released.
from a safe distance.
Baryonyx fought Majungasaurus, and
I finally get
the
it.
Baryonyx
I
won.
finally understand why people have a fear of the dark. Once you peer
The
into the shadows and see a
Triceratopses had
pair of
not been
Dimetrodon eyes
touched
staring
by
back
any
at you,
carnivore
well, you'll be having
so
nightmares
far.
for years. That's if you're lucky enough to walk away, because believe me, not everybody is.
Jungosaurus and Therizinosaurus were fighting, but the Therizinosaurus was no match for the Majungasaurus. Pyroraptor hunting down another parasaur. Parasaur had died. Ceratosaurus had taken its first life. And then their second. The Ceratosaurus and Quintrosaurus were fighting. This was fight 2. The Acrocanthosaurus had thus taken its first life, a Ceratosaurus. They had fallen. The most deaths had been taken in the snow biome. The Ceratosaurus was fighting again and easily killed the Quintrosaurus. The Ceratosaurus, Quintrosaurus was again fighting. The Ceratosaurus was winning. It's a close battle. And the Ceratosaurus won. And then a theory versus baryonyx, and the baryonyx had lost. I got this idea from another YouTuber, so his link will be in the comments, so go check him out. Dimetrodon was fighting with Arizinosaurus, but I don't think it would have looked good. Yeah, no, he died. And then the cages were open to each other. The snow, the plains, and the swamp had been released and put together to an all-out battle. And each was about to get their biggest carnivore yet. In the plains, the T-Rex was released. In the swamp, the Spinosaurus. And in the snow, it was the Giganotosaurus. It was about to be an all-out battle. Who would win and who would lose? Only time would tell. The T-Rex would be the first to be released. Actually, the Spinosaurus would, but Metrocanthosaurus was fighting a Styracosaurus. The Styracosaurus had never seen a Metrocanthosaurus before because they were from different lands. The Metrodon was fighting Metrocanthosaurus, but easily got defeated. This biggest carnivore into the swamp had been released. Then the T-Rex in the plains, or T-Rexes, might I say. And then the Giganotosauruses. Albertosaurus and Majungasaurus were fighting. Albertosaurus won both, or one time, and then the Majungasaurus won the other time. And Montosaurus had thus been hunted down by the Albertosaurus. Pyroraptors were fighting a Majungasaurus, but were severely damaged. The first two Pyroraptors were killed. The Ceratosaurus were still fighting the Quintrosauruses, but the Quintrosaurus was easily winning and were about to kill their first Ceratosaurus. Another Dimetrodon had fallen to a Majungasaurus. The Spinosaurus, although a massive creature, was more peaceful than aggressive and only fought when it had to. Majungasaurus versus a Thery, but the Thery had killed the Majungasaurus. Barry and a Therizinosaurus were going at it, but the Thery had lost its last battle. The Acrocanthosaurus and T-Rex were fighting. The T-Rex had a strong lead. The Acrocanthosaurus was almost dead, so it backed off and ran away. The Brachiosaurus was peaceful, happy with what it was doing, just sitting there. Acrocanthosaurus was hunting down a Brachiosaurus. And the Brachiosaurus was barely hurt. Then a T-Rex versus a Quintrosaurus, and the Quintrosaurus was dying very fast. And a Giganotosaurus was fighting a Quintrosaurus also, but the Quintrosaurus would not win this battle. And it was almost dead, so he backed off. The T-Rex had won that battle also. Spinosaurus was fighting its first battle and had killed its first victim, the Majungasaurus. Pyroraptor was low health, and was about to die. When Majungasaurus was fighting an Albertosaurus, the Albertosaurus was about to pass away. And this Albertosaurus backed off to see another day. Majungasaurus and Iguanodon had fought, and the Iguanodon had died to the I can't even talk. T-Rex, Spinosaurus, and Giganotosaurus had not seen each other yet, and were living peacefully in the lands. The first Brachiosaurus was taken down, and the Acrocanthosaurus was fighting a T-Rex again. Or not. And then the Giganotosaurus was fighting another Metrocanthosaurus. The Giga was winning this battle easily, and Metrocanthosaurus might not live to see another day. But it had backed down, and thus barely survived. Then the Giga taken its first life, the Quantrosaurus. The Albertosaurus and Quintrosaurus was fighting, and the Quintrosaurus had perished. Apache was getting hunted, which would be the Giga's third kill. Ceratosaurus against the T-Rex, but the T-Rex easily won that battle without even a scratch. He was proud of himself. Spinosaurus and Quintrosaurus were fighting. The Quintrosaurus was definitely not doing as good as the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus had barely been hurt. And the Quintrosaurus had backed off because it wanted to live one more day. A berry and a Metrocanthosaurus had fought, and a berry had easily won that battle. Giganotosaurus was just peacefully looking around, I guess. Magmo. Oh, never mind, the Brachiosaurus didn't die, it was just taking a little sleep. The Albertosaurus was hunting down... Never mind, no it wasn't. The Albertosaurus was looking for food and was starving to death. The Therizinosaurus had thus taken down a Metrocanthosaurus. The Albertosaurus had thus taken down an Edmontosaurus, and now he was full. Giganotosaurus had entered the plains and had taken a nap on the sand. The Ceratosaurus and T-Rex were fighting, and the Ceratosaurus had died in the swamp. Easily, the T-Rex killed him. Giganotosaurus and Albertosaurus were fighting. And they had both migrated from the snow biome. Albertosaurus had gotten a good bite on the Giganotosaurus and was winning the fight. Giga and Metracanthosaurus were fighting. Metracanthosaurus was killed. But the other Giga wasn't doing so good. The Albertosaurus had won. Somehow, I don't know how that happened. The Parasaurolophus was almost extinct. There was only 2 left. Or 3 left. The Spinosaurus had migrated to the plains to see what it was like. The T-Rex had started a fight with the Spinosaurus. This would be a close battle, but then they called it off. The Acrocanthosaurus had just killed a Parasaurolophus, which means the Parasaurs were left with 2. Spinosaurus and Iguanodon were fighting. The Iguanodon would easily be taken down and had been killed. The T-Rex was hunting, or was about to start hunting, the last Parasaur. A Berry and a Quintrosaurus were fighting. The Quintrosaurus was definitely doing better, but the battle could turn around anytime. Giganotosaurus and Albertosaurus were fighting. And the Giganotosaurus was killed. One out of the 2 Gigas had been put down. The Acrocanthosaurus and T-Rex were fighting. Acrocanthosaurus not doing as good as the T-Rex. Acrocanthosaurus was about to die, but then he backed off to live another day. The T-Rex was about to hunt a Brachiosaurus. And then he had stopped. But the other T-Rex wasn't so lenient and had hurt the Brachiosaurus. Then the T-Rex, both T-Rexes had hurt the Brachiosauruses badly. Brachiosaurus was sad because might be seeing its last days. Anaquintosaurus and Baryonyx were fighting, and the Baryonyx had died. Albertosaurus and Majungasaurus were fighting. Albertosaurus seemed to be winning that fight by a long shot. And Majungasaurus had backed off. The last Giga standing was fighting a Majungasaurus and had killed it, the thing that has taken its brother, and now he was revenged. Spinosaurus was heading into the snow biome, but didn't like the feeling of the cold. And he was staring at a T-Rex who was sleeping in the snow. T-Rex and Spinosaurus looked to be like they were fighting. And they had started to fight. Please fight. Nope, they worded it to each other and walked away. Great. That's great. The T-Rex, instead of attacking the Spinosaurus, had gone for the Brachiosaurus. And the T-Rex was fighting a Quintrosaurus. And the T-Rex was not looking very good. As the T-Rex had already been low health, I believe. And he was almost dead, so you would have to back off soon, or he would die. And he ran away. Extremely low health. This dude seriously looked at the T-Rex and said, bruh, how did you lose that fight? Spinosaurus and T-Rex, the battle we've all been waiting for. The Spinosaurus was off to an early lead. Ooh. Giganotosaurus and Albertosaurus were fighting. The Giga most likely would win. But the T-Rex had lost that battle against the Spinosaurus. The Acrocanthosaurus had thus killed a Triceratops, which would be his second kill. So far, both T-Rexes were still alive. Only one Giga was alive. And both the first Brachiosaurus had died by an Albertosaurus. That's crazy. Now I'm waiting for Giga and T-Rex to fight. Until that happens, though, we're gonna watch the Spino. Spino was sitting in the snow biome. I guess he liked the cold more than I thought. but was slowly heading towards the plains. Two Albertosauruses were fighting for no reason. And a T-Rex had just been fatally injured by a Majungasaurus. Would this be the first death to Tyrannosauruses? It would, most likely. The T-Rex just fallen to a Majungasaurus. As the Giga watched. And he was about to laugh, and then he realized his brother had also died to a Majungasaurus. So he walked away and squared up to an Albertosaurus. The Giganotosaurus hadn't lost a battle so far, other than his brother. But he was either about to die or lose his first battle. T-Rex and Spinosaurus were fighting, like we had wanted, and the T-Rex had been killed. That means the T-Rex had been eliminated from the challenge. The first beast of the lands had been taken out of its misery. And the Giganotosaurus had also died, which means the Spinosaurus was the last of the land's biggest creatures to survive, which means it had won. And it was about to fight its last battle before I end the video, I think. Never mind. So the Spinosaurus had won. And that is the end of the video. Peace out. And go subscribe to that other YouTube channel that I can't remember his name. It's going to be in the comments and the description.